The year is 1941. Hell froze over. Ford was going to offer an inline flathead 6 after years of offering the flathead V8 exclusively. It's worth mentioning this wasn't Ford's first inline 6. Ford made an earlier inline 6, which will get its own episode one day. The original 6 was produced from 1906 to 1908 for the Ford Model K. This new flathead 6 design was so far out of left field for Ford, and it's proof that the consumer controls the market. Just about every company offered a 6, but Ford tried to offer an alternative to the flathead 6 by offering a smaller displacement, 136 cubic inch displacement, 60 horsepower flathead V8. Ironically, this flathead 6 is what replaced that small flathead V8. If you can't beat them, join them. Introduced in 1941, the Ford Flathead 6, designed to look just like every other L-head engine design out there for sale in the American market at the time. Ford used the conventional L-head design where valves and pistons run right next to one another. Pistons run in a single line, as well as the valves run on top, alternating between intake and exhaust. 2 valves per cylinder, 1 intake, 1 exhaust. Oil filtration was outside the block. The distributor was mounted in the center, down low, on the driver's side when the engine is installed. Exhaust and intake is on the passenger's side. This engine uses timing gears instead of timing chains. The gear itself is made out of aluminum. Full pressure feed oiling lubrication system to all 4 main bearings, crank pin, and camshaft bearings. 4 piston rings, 2 compression rings, and 2 oil rings. The pistons are made of aluminum alloy. Shell bearings. Crankshaft is cast alloy steel with 7 counterweights for better balance, with tubular crank pins. The combustion chamber was high turbulence in design. Suction type crankcase ventilation. This engine was not built to be a high revving engine, but it developed a good amount of torque at a low RPM. Introduced for the 1941 model year, 226 cubic inch displacement flathead inline 6, 3.7 liters, often called the Rouge 226 because it was built at the Ford Rouge plant. It could produce anywhere between 90 to 95 horsepower at 3,300 RPM, up to 180 pound-feet or 244 Newton meters at 2,000 RPM with a bore of 3.3 inches and a stroke of 4.4 inches. Compression was 6.7 to 1. 4 main bearings built of cast iron. Years this engine was used was between 1941 through 1951. Could be found in Ford cars as well as light trucks. In 1950, bore was increased to 3.5 inches, bringing displacement to 254 cubic inch displacement. Inline flathead 6, 4.2 liters. It's good for 115 horsepower at 3,400 RPM, 212 pound-feet or 287 Newton meters at 1,200 RPM with a bore of 3.5 inches and a stroke of 4.4 inches. Compression was 6.5 to 1, 4 main bearings. This engine was only used from 1950 through 1953. This engine could be found in the Ford F-Series trucks. Think Ford F5, F6, F7, and the cab over. It was also used as an industrial engine for water pumps. In 1952, Ford would make an all-new 6 with overhead valve arrangement. It would be called the Mileage Maker 6, but as they say, that is another engine episode for another day. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather Ford Flathead 6 Edition. All of these choices with the Ford Flathead 6, but which one would you rather have? 1941 Ford or 1946 Ford or 1949 Ford. I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free. Pause that video. Now it's time for the second scenario. 1948 Ford or 1951 Ford or 1942 Ford. Once again, gotta leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause that video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could always shoot me a comment in the comment section below. I read and answer all comments posted. I don't say that for self-worth. I just say that if you post a comment on here, I will definitely read it. The other way is we have a Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. If you don't have Facebook, you can always send me an email at what_its_like at a lostandforgottenwebprovider.com. So whether I see you on here in the comment section or the Facebook group or you send me an email, just know I appreciate everything that you guys bring. Until next time, toodaloo! So a huge thank you to Mark Chandler for sending me this package. I don't have a clue what it is. So how cool is this? He sent me a bunch of advertisement pieces. There's a 64 Rambler poster. Oh, how cool. Thank you so much for sending me this. Chevy Monte Carlo. Advertisement books. '71 Dodge truck, Volkswagen Rabbit, Ford F-Series. There's another one. How cool. Thunderbird. I want to find one of these. They were 1 year only. I've never seen one in person. That's a car that I've been looking for to feature on the channel. I love the way yes. I love the way that they used to do all these advertisement pieces. '94 Chevy. Is that like whenever the Like a Rock thing was going on? Bob Seger. I missed the 90s. 1994 Mustang. More Rambler. Oh, this is awesome. '61 Rambler. I have a friend who has a '61 Rambler wagon. They're really cool. I like the 60 and the 59. The 59 is my favorite year. '61 Pontiac. These are really cool advertisement pieces.
cool. Thank you so much, Mark Chandler, for sending me all that. I really appreciate it.
P.S. Nobody got yesterday's Name That Tune. It's a Bob Seger song.